It is so important to ensure as a woman that you are not allowing a man to waste your time, waste your good years. This is so important. What we need to realize as women is this can easily happen. This can easily happen. But before we begin, I want to say whether you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, you're always in your prime. If you've had an experience where a man has wasted your quote unquote good years, please understand you're always in your prime. Get it back together. Get it back together and never ever make that mistake again. Get it back together. I want to share how a man can waste your good years and your prime and what to look out for to avoid. Firstly, one of the traps that many women fall into is this notion of playing house. Stop playing house. Stop playing house. I can't sugarcoat this for you. There is not a single woman in the world who had to clean, cook, and you know what, to become a wife. Why are you playing house? That is wasting your good years. Find yourself somewhere else to live very, very quickly. This is so important because many women find themselves in a situation they have become the cleaner, the cook, the everything else, and they've wasted years on a man who has no intention of taking them to the destination of marriage. Zero intention whatsoever. He's happy getting the comforts and the benefits, but he doesn't even want to give you the cheapest prize, which is marriage. If you haven't watched that video, do make sure you watch it because marriage is the lowest value thing a man can give you. Marriage doesn't actually do anything to you. If all he's given you is misses, you've got the lowest prize because a man who actually does marriage well, who gives you the highest value of marriage, not only does he make you Mrs. X, he makes you Mrs. X and you're provided for, you're protected for, and you're looked after. So if that man is willing, or you are willing also because you're accomplice to bad treatment, if you and that man are willing for you to be in that house, cooking, cleaning, doing everything else under the sun, and he can't even give you the lowest prize possible, which is just to make you a missus, he is taking away your good years. Your good years to be provided for, your good years to be protected, your good years to be looked after. I do want to say this. The reason this is based on the word of God, this space, is because it will stop you from actually making stupid mistakes. The Most High, our Father, knows everything. And his intention is for you to actually date well, marry well, and avoid the pitfalls. If you decide that actually, because it's the 21st century, you want to play house, you will always get breadcrumbs. We've all heard it where people say, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? I actually don't like that saying. However, it is true. If you decide to play wife and waste your prime paying wife without being a wife, you will waste your good years. And the prize isn't marriage. The prize is an actual good marriage. Marriage is the lowest bar. It's also really important to make sure that you're not wasting your prime and your good years by just being in a situationship due to an emotional void that you are trying to fill. This one is really difficult to kind of identify because it can be possible as a woman. The reason you want that man isn't because you want him, it's because you're trying to fill a hole and a void in your life. And you feel by having him in your life, that is your anchor. There is no anchor but God and you. I always say, you know the rules. God first, then you. If you decide to put a man first, if you decide that he's going to be the top and he's going to be an anchor, he will allow you to use him as the emotional void and always giving you less. And this will just go on and on and on and on. And you are just in something, I don't even know why we call it a relationship, because you're either single or married. Single or married. This whole notion of I'm in a relationship, what is this, a test drive? Like, you are single or married. You just happen to be with someone that has decided to prevent you from finding your husband. And then we've decided in the modern world to call that a relationship. No, 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 no. Someone has put their car in your parking lot so someone else, the Ferrari, can't come in. You've allowed the Ford, I like that analogy. You have allowed the Ford to park in your parking lot when it's the Ferrari that's meant to come and park in the parking lot and actually pay the full price, do everything. But no, 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 no. You cannot prevent. This is how men waste your prime, your good years. You cannot prevent that man from finding your husband because you have been with him in quote unquote a relationship for 2 years, for 3 years. What is a relationship? You are single or married. There are only single or married women in the word. When we want to deviate from the word, the results that you get will always be messy. Now, I'm not saying, yes, of course, you are going to find women where they were in a relationship for 7 years and he finally proposed and they finally got married. What's the state of their marriage? What is the state of their marriage? That's not the marriage that you want. You want a marriage with a man who is very intentional. You want a marriage with a man who's willing to provide from the get-go. You want a man with a marriage who was willing to pick and know that you are his wife and be willing for you to say yes. Because you say yes. He picks, he offers, you say yes. This is really, really intentional. The other thing to understand is don't waste your good years means, are you growing? Forget for 1 second marriage. You will be wasting your good years and your prime years and your developmental years, you're in your prime, if you are not growing. Let me explain something to you. We like girl maths. We like to think we like girl maths, but girl maths is bad mathematics in all aspects of life. Let me explain this really simply. 1 + 1 equals what? 2. If you are adding another person to your life, you are 1. You are adding another person to your life. If you are not greater than where he found you, you are wasting your good years. If a man comes into your space and your environment and nothing has changed, in fact, unfortunately, can we all just as a collective realise that sometimes as women, it's 1 + 1 and then you're -5. Run. If you bring a man into your space, 1 + 1 and you end up -5, you have got a bad deal. You are wasting your good years. You are wasting your prime. Run as fast as you can. If you haven't already run, I give you permission to turn this off and literally start packing your bags. You are meant to multiply. You are meant to grow. You are meant to improve. Ruth says to Naomi, you would have heard this before from here. Ruth says to Naomi, basically, go and find rest in your husband's house. The purpose of that man is not to make things more difficult. The purpose of that man is so that you are in a position whereby you are able to find rest in your husband's house. The purpose of that man, you see, the time you spend with God, there's no way you can spend time with God and not grow and elevate. So how are you spending time with a man? 1 year has passed, you're still in the same position. Some women are actually in a worse position. 2 years has passed, there's no growth. No spiritual, no financial, no emotional growth. There is no growth. If your tree is starting to produce rotten fruit, if you are not elevating, if things are not improving for you, the prime years are being wasted. The good years are being wasted. Time is being wasted. And it is so important for you to be critical about what is going on. The best way to avoid kind of wasting time with someone is to be willing to assess and hold the mirror up and evaluate what fruit am I currently seeing. It's also being willing to say to yourself, actually, am I following the commandments of God? because I know we want to sometimes say it's the 21st century. It's okay to date for 4 years. It's okay to date for 10 years. Let me say this to you. A doctor's degree, depending on what country you were in, takes about 7 years. Then people could do medical stuff, serious medical stuff, whether it be surgery, whether it be diagnoses, serious stuff. People can go and do, let's take medicine out of it, build houses, architecture, dentistry, do all of that in less time than that man has taken to propose to a woman who's willing to give him 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Who are you that he needs 10 years to just buy a ring? Because that's the minimum. The just buying a ring is the minimum, and he can't even give you the minimum. Just buying a ring isn't even anything. Let's just all agree on that. It's so important, so important to not let the modern world convince you that these things are okay, because this is how your time gets passed away. It's also really important as a woman and as women to evaluate, are there any wounds that you need to heal that are allowing you to accept this behaviour? If you want to be in a position whereby I run a very strict program, if you want to be in a position whereby you run a very strict program, this is, by the way, even if you're single or married, the strict program needs to be on at all times. If you want to be in a position where you are running a strict program, where you are not willing to let anyone waste your years, where you're not willing to let anyone be 1 + 1 with you, but somehow you're -5, you need to heal your wounds. You need to heal. If you're a woman who has father wounds, you need to heal those wounds. If you've got any abandonment wounds, you need to heal those wounds. If you've got any wounds whereby you need to seek validation, you're a people pleaser, you need to heal those wounds. Because in healing those wounds, I'm going to say this, it's going to be harsh, you will stop the nonsense. You will stop the nonsense of allowing someone to be in your life for years, taking your precious time, and you are not growing. There is no better fruit on your tree. You're meant to multiply as a woman. Things are meant to be birthed out of you. And if all you have got from being in a relationship, quote unquote, because relationships don't exist, being in a relationship with a man is you cooking and cleaning for him, bad deal. Bad deal. Avoid at all cost. And this is about really making sure that you don't let society tell you it's the modern age and God has changed the rules. God said, do not add or take away from my word. Where did he tell you needed to cook, clean and live with that man for 10 years before he said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh? That there isn't one single story. He actually told you not to commit fornication. He actually told you to wait. So this is how the good years will get wasted. Don't rewrite what has already been written, because it will always be to your detriment. If you want to change the code to the pin, to the safe, if you want to change the code to the safe, you will never be able to get in and get the actual real treasure. So this is really important. As women, we need to always realise you get what you allow. What you tolerate is what you're accepting. So if you tolerate and accept someone coming into your life, taking your good years, not growing, not becoming better, there has to be ownership from women, from our side, in saying, hold on a second, I need to change how I approach things. And I do want to say, if you've previously made such mistakes, it's absolutely okay. There is always an opportunity in life to do better. Once you know better, give yourself grace to actually do better and change the narrative.